You want to boost sales to your products, course, or services, and a simple solution comes to mind. Offer a discount. Some say a discount cheapens your offer, others say it boosts urgency.
In this episode, we're digging into the pros and cons, plus some alternatives to discounts.
Being an online business owner is full of ups and downs. Some days you can't imagine going back to your 9-to-5, and other days you want to burn your whole business to the ground. We get it.
Welcome to Chaos to Conversions, a podcast of practical, no BS strategies to grow your online business. Each week, we're chatting about launching, copywriting, mindset, and more, so you can make sense of the chaos and do more of what works.
Join the conversation and let's grow together. Hi, and welcome back to Chaos to Conversions. Today, we are going to all be talking about, should you offer discounts, yay or nay? And spoiler alert, the answer is like maybe, just so we can get that out there. There are reasons to and reasons to not, but we are going to dive into establishing price, some pros and cons when you might want to consider offering a discount, and then some alternatives for doing so. I get asked this question a lot, Melanie. Is this a good price for my course? And usually the answer is, I don't know. You have to ask yourself a couple of questions to establish price. Okay, so there are some things to think about when you are creating a new offer and establishing price, because pricing is super, super subjective. And think about it like this. And I use this example, I've probably used this example another time. If you accidentally were going out to your car today and dropped your phone and ran over your phone, your smartphone, you would go buy another one. Probably within a day or two. Put it on the old credit card, right? If you didn't have the money set aside, because you have likely attached value to having a smartphone in your life. So pricing, again, is very subjective and it's very tied to perceived value. So there are a couple things that you can think about when you are establishing a price for maybe a new offer, or you're revamping something and, maybe you're changing the price. Something to also keep in mind, just as a general rule, is, and this isn't like a hard fast rule because I have seen people more than not more than not, but I have seen people lately lower the price of something that was previously expensive in the online space. But I like to just keep this in mind that it is easier to raise the price or increase the price than it is to sell your course, at a certain price and then decrease it later, because that can feel awkward and icky if you've had people buy it at the original price that you put it out as. So establish a baseline price for your offer. In order to do that, you're going to want to calculate how much money it is that you would like to make. So what is the amount of money that you need to make in order for this offer to be worth your time? Make sure to consider things like tools and software. If you're deciding to run like paid Facebook ads, or, not just Facebook, but like paid ads, or if you have a virtual assistant or anyone who's helping you to like set it up, your own time, if it's something like a group program, or even if you're creating the curriculum yourself for the first time. So the other thing you can think of when you're establishing a price is making sure that you are doing a little bit of, I'm big on it, market research around other offers or courses that might kind of be similar to yours. And this isn't saying that you want to like really undercut the competition or charge like way more, but it's good to have kind of a general idea about what other people are charging for a similar-ish sort of product. That can kind of get you started on things like establishing a base price. Now, this could be a whole nother episode, so I'm not really going to go too much further with establishing your baseline price, but You can also consider things like offering a beta discount if this is like your first round, with the intention of increasing it by a certain amount each time you launch until you hit what you would actually like to on the regular charge for your offer. So I don't want you to really think of a beta price as a discount. That's something like, I mean, it might be cheaper than what you're originally hoping to get to, but I don't really want you to think of like a beta price as a discount. But start when you're establishing the price of a new offer by coming up with like your baseline price and what you'd eventually like to charge, and then maybe lowering it if it's your very first round, if that makes sense. Don't think of that as like a discount.
So now on to the question that we all ask ourselves at some point in business, to discount or not to discount. And like Melanie said, this is very much like a maybe. There isn't like a yes or no. And so we're not going to tell you yes or no, but we're going to talk about the advantages of both, like why you might, why you not. And also, like we said, some alternatives to discounting if you're like, I don't necessarily want to discount, or I don't want to discount this time. So let's start with the no's. And there's a couple, we kind of talked about a couple things that we were thinking of, like why you might not want to. And I think the first big one is if you consistently discount something, people will notice and not buy at the regular price. I'm very much this person. There's like certain businesses that I'm like, oh, actually, I was just having this conversation the other day with a friend of mine because I was like, oh, I want to buy these like cute clothes at this place. And she was like, oh, just wait, because they always have a sale. Like I saw they had a 50% off, but I saw it like 3 hours before it was ending. So just wait again. In like a month, they'll have another sale. Like in 2 weeks, they'll have another sale. So it's like, I never buy things at full price when I go to this place because I know they'll always have a sale. And the same thing happens with our business too. If you're like frequently discounting your membership, your offer, or your services, people are just going to wait till it becomes discounted again. I wouldn't consider frequently if you do it like a once a year sale. I do have a client who does that like once a year. She does like a little quick sale on like one of her services. I don't think that's frequently enough. Sure, there might be people who wait a whole year. Most likely that's not going to happen. And it's not the same time every year too, right? So it's very like iffy on when it might happen. It's like Nordstrom's. I feel like, don't they do like one sale a year? Or it's
Yeah.
like semi-annual or something.
Yeah, they do. Or like, okay, so I'm so guilty of this with Bath and Body Works.
Oh, yeah.
And the three wick candles,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like $23, but if you get them, they do it in June and then they do it for Black Friday, they come down to like $10 a candle.
Yeah.
And I will wait and I will buy 20 at once.
Yeah.
It saves so much money. Well, they know they like put a limit on it, but I mean, I guess they're doing okay. They've been around a hot minute.
It does make you wonder too, like what the value of something when it's always being frequently discounted, because it's like,
True.
okay, well, if these clothes that I'm paying like full price are like, okay, $30 a top, like Target or something, but then like you're frequently discounting, it's like $10. Well, then how much did it cost you to make it? If you're probably still making a profit at $10, or at least like covering your cost. So I think that's also too is like the value of it and like how much you're discounting something, because you don't want the perceived value of something that you put a lot of work into to be really low. I just feel like, yeah, it kind of cheapens the experience a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, that doesn't like mean, like you were saying, you can't have a sale, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think especially if we're talking to our friends in the TPT space, everybody knows, like customers alike know that there's what now? February. Are they still doing an April sale? Is that
I
a
don't
thing?
remember.
I hope not, because I'm not ready, and that's like next week. But, there's like the February sale, the teacher appreciation sale, the 2 sales in August,
Yeah.
Black Friday, like everybody knows. So I feel the frequency, I mean, I would say the frequency of sales in that particular space and the kind of pressure to put your store on sale at that time, I don't think that it's done great things overall, because they've added more sales even in the last 4 or 5 years since we've been doing this. I mean, I think the February sale, and there was like the April sale during 2021 when like COVID was still a thing, and then they added the back to school bonus sale.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that has kind of hurt like overall, right? Because now we're talking, there's like almost a sale every other month. Like it's not a long enough time for people to be like, oh, well, like I need this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can wait in the interim. Whereas like one of my clients does a big teacher appreciation sale over on their website, like not TPT. And that's been pretty successful because it's bigger than the
Mhm.
TPT sale. And it only happens once a year. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
So just some like things to think about.
Yeah. And again, there's like also pros to like those sales too. And we'll talk about those in a second, but like it's kind of the cons part, right?
Yes.
So yeah, and like kind of something else we kind of jotted down in our notes is like that doesn't mean again like you can't have a special coupon to something or have a funnel that like on the back end if someone gets into that there's a sale or a discount. So again, it's not all bad. Yeah, it's just like one of those things you have to weigh.
Mm-hmm.
But then on like the yes side, I mean, discounts are like really great at urgency and kind of going back to the TPT thing. One of the things I kind of jotted down in our notes was like, it's great for like cash injections, right? Like sales are really great when you're like, I just need to like make some money right now. Or like, I need to fill up a spot in my calendar and like book a service. Then discounting something can feel like the right answer because people will buy when there's a sale or they're more
Mm-hmm.
likely to buy. And so you get that instant boost of profit, which is always nice. Yeah, it's just that kind of like built-in urgency.
Right, right. And then, I mean, you could also think about this isn't like really about discounts, but larger programs, for example. And I mean, this, like I said, isn't really about discounts, but I often get this question. Do I leave my course or my membership or my program or whatever like open at all times, or do I open and close it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some programs, I have one particular in mind, that only launches once a year, period. And like everybody knows the month that it launches, everybody's like, if you missed it that window, like you might be waiting the whole time for the next window, but there's no other way to get into that program than when it's launched in September.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just like baseline establishment. And she never offers discounts. Like the price is the price is the price. And there's like full transparency. And I think that works really well for her, but like it might not work for your business.
Yeah.
But it might, you know, so that's just where you kind of have to like try some things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
I think
next?
that's, and I kind of, it's like one of the things we'll talk about in a few minutes, like the alternatives to a discount. It's like if you can get that kind of buy-in from your audience where they're like dying to get into something because they know it's very, I don't want to say like exclusive, but there is like that built-in exclusivity, right? Like I either get in now or I don't have that opportunity for a whole year. Yeah, there's like a lot of urgency there. I have a client who has a membership and I think it only opens once a year as well. And so we feed a lot of people to the wait list. It might be two times a year, but even then, like that's not that often to only have a membership open once or twice a year. And yeah, that's going to be like the whole year. She's building a wait list. She's building and like people are on it and they are, I don't want to say like, oh, they're begging to get in. I'm sure they're not like on their hands and knees, like, please let me in. Maybe they are. But they're like, when it comes time for it to open, they're joining because they know this is, it's now or never.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm thinking of like another membership that I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, the only membership I'm in actually. She opens the first week of every quarter, period. Like you can't get in on the back end. She doesn't do it monthly. Like there's no secret funnel.
Yeah.
With like some discount. Like she's open the first week of every quarter, period. Then it closes. And if you don't join that quarter, like you have to wait till next quarter.
Yeah.
And I mean, it works really well for her. She doesn't even do any live component at all. She sends some emails, talks about it. I mean, she is the epitome of like constantly promoting her membership every day and everything she does at all times. So if you land on her page, like if you landed on her page, her Instagram, like April 15th, the membership would be closed and you might be like, man, like I can't.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if you messaged her, I don't know, maybe she'd let you in. I don't know the answer to that, but like there's no way to get in between. And then, you know, she does a great job of promoting and talking about it the entire quarter until she opens up for that week, the first week of the quarter.
Yeah. I wish I was that religious with my my cart open includes all things. That would
Right?
be great.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense for her business and her
Yeah.
membership, but
Yeah. I guess the last kind of thing to think about if you're, again, debating discount or not, the only other kind of pro I could come up with for yes, not that there aren't others, is that it can make offers available for more people who maybe typically wouldn't be able to get in, or maybe they just like for whatever reason weren't enticed by it until you added that, discount. That could be kind of another reason to go with a discount, especially if it's like a higher ticket item, right? Like
mhm.
it's, four figures or above, and you're like offering a good chunk off, maybe like $100 if they join now. That might be enough for someone to say, okay, I can swing it, if I'm taking this $100 off. So it could just open up the doors a little bit to like who is able to purchase, which again feeds into that like boost of sales.
Whether or not you decide to offer a discount, you can make an argument to do it or to not do it. That might not be helpful, but weigh the pros and cons in your own business. And we wanted to also provide some alternatives if you decide not to offer a discount. What are some maybe other bonuses or things that you could include during a special promotion period to make your audience a little bit more enticed to buy? So the first like major question that you want to think about and ask yourself when you're coming up with potential bonuses is, what do you think your audience's biggest struggle is? Like, what do they need the most support with? What is something that you could provide that might speed up or enhance the transformation of whatever your course, membership, program, product, what have you, is going to do? So that was just like three different ways of phrasing the same question, but like thinking about like what is the number one thing that might help them the most. So when we're thinking about the transformation, you might want to include something that could be either like a done for you or a done with you bonus. So maybe a done for you bonus would be something like, if I'm a launch coach, like hypothetically providing a Instagram profile audit where like I'm actually looking at and providing an audit on your Instagram, on your webinar slides, like an extra review, or putting together, like me personally putting together a launch plan in your project management software, something that would save you a lot of time and lend my expertise. Or like a done with you bonus where you might provide something like swipe copy, a cohort of like other people going through it together, going through like the launch process together, something like that that might speed up their transformation. You could also consider offering something like a time sensitive bonus. Sometimes these are called fast action bonuses, and you could do this a couple different ways. So it could be a number, like once the first 5 people who purchase or the first 10 people who purchase get an extra one-on-one call, for example. Or it could be instead of like a set number, it could be a time sensitive bonus where within the first 24 hours, if you purchase, you get an extra like mini course or mini training that's added to your purchase like for free. So when you're thinking about offering these different bonuses, make sure that you're taking your own capacity into account, right? Because if you have a large audience and you're offering an extra one-on-one call for the first 24 hours and 30 people buy the first day, like that's a lot of time.
Mhm.
So you might want to just think about and consider like your own time, and if you want to offer like a number or like a time incentive. You could also think about doing something like a financial bonus. So if you have like a payment plan, I see this done a lot. You can either get maybe like an extra month free if you pay in full, or if it's something like higher ticket and you pay in full, maybe you get like a month of curated content that the coach facilitates and like actually puts together for you. So that would be kind of like an extra done for you. But there's all sorts of bonuses that you can offer to entice your audience as opposed to like just offering a discount.
Can also do like an introductory discount. So this is like maybe getting a percentage off first month, or a certain like price off of their first month when they join the membership. Or like, I don't necessarily see this a lot with like service providers and course people, but I see this a lot. I feel like with cell phone companies, but I'm like, you can use this idea in your business if you wanted to. Or even like utility companies, like you get like a lower rate, right, as like your entry rate, and then it like goes up after that. Or you get like a percent off for the first year that you're in it. So it's kind of like a way to get people to maybe like pivot. Like maybe you're trying to get people to switch to something, or if you're trying to just like entice them to get in and kind of like lock in a certain period of time. That's another way to do it. Again, that is kind of like a discount in a way, but I like the idea of just doing like a month off, or like maybe the first quarter off. So they are eventually going up to the full price. It's just a temporary discount. So that's kind of one way to think about it. You can also offer discounts to repeat buyers, kind of like a loyalty program. So again, this is a discount, but I think you have to think of it in the context of like these people have already put a lot of money into your business. So it's not like you're offering discounts to every single person that's out there. They're kind of like building credits or points, or again, just some sort of like repetition in your business. I do this with my done for you clients, like my retainer clients. They pay me every single month for a retainer. So if they book an extra project outside of their retainer, they get a discount on that project. To me, I don't really feel like I'm discounting in a way, because I'm like, they're already paying me every month. Like to me, that is just a way for me to like appreciate them being a repeat customer. And also I know their business really well. So I don't have to necessarily do everything that it goes into like the first time I work with someone. So it also takes me a little bit less time to work with a repeat client. I have people in the TPT space. I have a client who does like a loyalty program on their website. So if they buy through their website, they earn points. TPT also kind of does that, but it's not necessarily like loyalty to you, right? Like they have the TPT credits, but they don't have to spend them on you. So I like that it's through her website. It is rewarding them specifically for returning to her. But you don't even have to have like a built-in loyalty program. It could be like a funnel after someone buys something. You could do like a coupon for their next purchase or something like that. And then kind of the last one, alternative idea that I had was price anchoring. So this is not even a discount. Like you're not really offering any bonuses. You're not offering a discount. All you're doing here is like setting up the stage of like what the prices are. So for instance, you could have a membership that's at different tiers or even like a workshop. If you're hosting a workshop, it could be at different tiers. Like tier 1 is like, you just get the workshop, right? You get it, you get the replay. It's the basics. Maybe that's like $25. But then if they upgrade to like tier 2, here's what the price would be. And maybe tier 2 includes like an extra bonus. And then like tier 3 includes like 30 days of one-on-one support or something like that. And by having these prices side by side, people can see like what they're getting. Like there's more value sometimes for their money, right? It's kind of like when you go through the drive-thru and they're like, for 50 cents more, you can upgrade to a large. And you're like, for only 50 cents, sure, like let's do it. So it's kind of the same idea is when we put things side by side, or even like a bundle, right? You could say like, hey, you could pay $5 for this product, or you could pay $10 and you could get like 3 products in one. And you're like, well, that sounds a lot more enticing when I compare the two prices to each other. The price anchoring is a great way that you're not having to discount anything. And again, you're just showing them the value when they buy more or they upgrade or something like that.
Thanks so much for joining us today when we talked about all things offering a discount or not. So we talked a little bit about how to think about establishing your price, some pros and cons for deciding to offer discounts or not on your main offers, and some other ideas for bonuses and incentives should you decide to not offer a discount. Some other things that you could do instead to still incentivize and entice your audience.
And speaking of discounts, you can join the Copy Huddle, which is my one-on-one copy membership. You can submit your copy each month for an audit where I look everything over, help you adjust your messaging, help you improve your sales pages, emails, and blogs, and so much more. And you can get $50 off your first month when you use the code podcast. So if you want to give the Copy Huddle a try, here's your chance. The link is in the show notes, and I'd love to have you.
Thanks so much for joining our conversation today. If you enjoyed this episode, please head to your listening app and leave a quick rating and review.
If you're on Instagram, share this episode and tag us at Duxbury Digital and at The Relevant Collective. We'd love to hear from you. We'll meet you back here next Tuesday for more practical strategies to take your business from chaos to conversions.